Good afternoon or good morning. Thank you for joining today's Mohawk Make Ready webinar targeting the nonprofit market with value-added substrates. My name is Mike Madura. I'm the Vice President of Digital here at Mohawk Fine Paper. For those of you that are new to Mohawk Make Ready is a web-based service designed specifically for digital printers that offers you ways to make more efficient use of your time, your material, and your people. It provides you with practical information and actionable tools in the areas of production, sales, marketing, and operations. All of these are designed to help you be more efficient and to meet your business objectives. Over 1,200 digital printers have registered so far, and I would encourage each of you after the webinar to go ahead and do so. Before I turn this over to Matt Rees of InfoTrends, I just wanted to go through some quick housekeeping points. First, today's session is being recorded and will be available for viewing. Attendees will receive an email with instructions on how to access the podcast shortly after the conclusion of the live event. Attendees' lines are automatically muted. Questions can be asked throughout the event by submitting them through the Q&A tab or by using the chat function. We will address attendee questions at the end of the presentation. And with that, I'd like to turn this webinar over to Matt Rees of InfoTrends.
Hey, thanks, Mike, and welcome everyone to today's webinar. Again, as Mike introduced, my name is Matthew Rees with InfoTrends, and I am joined today by Eric Bogard, Marketing Director at Magnets.com, and Molly Rosenthal, Market Development Manager at Mohawk. And today's webinar is focused on finding opportunities in the nonprofit market segment by leveraging specialty substrates. And what I want everyone to walk away understanding is that there are profits to be made by supporting nonprofits. And before we hear from Eric and Molly, I'm quickly going to start off by providing some basic background information and market information. So the nonprofit sector is the collective name used to describe institutions and organizations that are neither government agencies nor businesses. Other names that are often used to describe this market include the not-for-profit sector, the third sector, the independent sector, the philanthropic sector, and the voluntary sector, as well as, even the social sector. It's a large market with over 1.5 million organizations broken down into 3 core categories, those being public charities, private foundations, and other nonprofit organizations. And the public charity segment, with over 1 million organizations, really represents the largest nonprofit group. You're all familiar with these. Examples of these are the Salvation Army, the American Cancer Society, United Way. When we move on to the private foundations maintain and aid charitable, educational, religious, or other activities that serve the public good. And they do this primarily through making grants to other nonprofit organizations. They usually derive their principal funding from a single source, such as an individual, a family, or a corporation. And typically a private foundation does not solicit funds from the public. It's the smallest nonprofit group. Examples of this really are the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Trust, the Ford Foundation, the J. Paul Getty Trust. And even though it's a small component of the overall nonprofit sector, it's still one that you need to be aware of because, again, a lot of other nonprofits do receive grants from this organization. The other nonprofits, such as chambers of commerce, fraternal organizations like the Knights of Columbus, and social clubs like the Friars Club make up 30% of this remaining market share. The nonprofit market is large, and it continues to grow. There's been a 30% increase in the number of registered nonprofits really in the last 12 years. And from a revenue standpoint, public charities reported 1.4 trillion revenues. And while this number is quite large, what's interesting to note is that 3/4 of these charities have operating expenses of $500,000 or less. And so what this tells us is that the majority of the nonprofits are small to medium organizations relying heavily on volunteers, and they may or may not have a dedicated team of marketing experts. For these small to medium organizations, building relationships with companies that can offer true partnerships and support is really crucial. When we look at sources of revenue for nonprofits, what's interesting is that 73% of giving comes from individuals. And this means that, that priorities need to be placed on reaching those individuals with a compelling marketing message that's going to have a residual and lasting impact. And my thoughts, and I'm sure a lot of your thoughts on this as well is that this really is a perfect opportunity for digitally printed specialty substrate products. And it's an opportunity that is only enhanced considering that half of nonprofits did not meet their 2010 fundraising goals. In a challenging economy, nonprofits are pressured even more and operate with reduced financial resources and personnel. Yet despite these reductions, their marketing goals remain the same, and those goals really are how to retain and grow a donor base. And so the opportunity for you guys really is to create opportunities that have been linked to effective communication. And what's interesting to note is that on average, nonprofits are using 6 different fundraising vehicles. And the opportunity for you to become a solutions provider to support the main fundraising vehicles of the nonprofit is very real and alive. And by offering services that range from digitally printed marketing tools to donor campaign management to database management, you're able to step in and become that kind of turnkey solutions provider for that nonprofit organization. And in the context of this discussion, when looking to support nonprofits, I'd like you to think beyond just paper when assessing the print opportunity. So digital specialty substrates really provide a broad application range and are ideally situated to support the needs of a lean volunteer marketing staff. And so hypothetically, let's take a look at some examples of digitally specialty applications for a public charity such as a museum. So think about synthetic materials such as wear-resistant PVC or polyester sheets that could make for a durable pocket map for a museum. Think of pressure-sensitive materials that can be used to create stickers for a scavenger hunt throughout the museum or used as wall-cling exhibit signage. Look at magnetic materials that can be used to create special museum exhibit promos that are placed on metal surfaces around businesses within a city. And look at embedded card materials that could also be used as thank you cards, membership reward cards, and even promote discounts at the gift shop. The message here is that specialty substrates offer a wide range of applications that can be used in unique ways to help with promotions, marketing, events, and more. And before I turn this over to Eric, I want to conclude this market overview with 4 core points, and that is that nonprofits survive and thrive with fundraising, that effective communication is linked to successful fundraising, that unique media materials for messaging can create increased response rates, and that digital specialty substrates can be leveraged as a unique material. And with that, I'd like to turn things over to Eric Bogard, Marketing Director of Magnets.com. I've had the opportunity to talk with Eric, and among many things that has impressed me about Magnets.com really is how Eric has blended the marketing tactics of an e-commerce company with the hands-on approach you would expect from a brick-and-mortar store. Eric?
All right. Well, thank you, Matt. That was a very generous introduction, so appreciate it, and want to thank everybody for joining us today. Want to talk a little bit first about our company, who we are, what we've done, how we've kind of worked with nonprofits, and also kind of dive into what are some of the case studies and successes that we've had working with them. So going to the company history, it's a second-generation family-owned and operated business, Magnets.com. As the name implies, we design, produce, and sell custom promotional magnets for a variety of strategic verticals. That includes, but is not limited to, real estate, pharmacy, landscapers, and of course, nonprofits. As of today, we have 1,300 plus unique SKUs or products and 50,000 plus worldwide customers. The majority of our market is within the U.S. and Canada, though we certainly are looking to go overseas more, Europe, England, things of that nature. And here's my little commercial. As of 2010, we've been offering trade pricing on all of our magnets, where the prices are at least 20% off retail prices. So, of course, not now, but when the webinar is over, I encourage everybody to visit our reseller site. It's up here on the screen, resellermagnets.com. In 2011, we decided to strategically go into the sticker business. Looking at magnets, it's pretty much the same internal workflows, same printing and production processes, and essentially the same selling and web processes that we already had with magnets in place. So we were able to get a website up rather quickly and live. And right now we have 300 unique custom products or SKUs there that we're selling. And we're one of the few producers out there that have a fully enabled e-commerce site that's pretty comprehensive. It enables dynamic pricing, seamless product architecture, you name it. And of course, that gives us a huge competitive advantage over all the other producers out there. And now if we rewind a bit with magnets, prior to Q3 of 2009, we really didn't have an e-commerce capability. We had a website, of course. It was kind of a dated design. And the really only call to action was call us and a little form for users to fill out. And that worked to an extent. Kind of plateaued with sales, but we made a strategic decision to really get serious and really ramp things up. So that's where in 2009 of August, we moved to a fully enabled e-commerce solution that enabled us to really be able to comprehensively sell all of our products online. It worked, but it kind of takes if a tree falls in the forest type scenario, nobody's there to hear it. We really had to invest heavily in marketing to really get people onto the site and get brand familiarity. So that included investments in search engine optimization, or SEO, coming up with a promotional calendar, public relations, social media, which we're really focusing in on now, and other marketing type tactics. If we kind of took the same approach with stickers. If it ain't broke, why try to fix it? So we developed the same type of e-commerce enabled website, SEO and marketing processes, and it's worked for us. We've experienced at least 50% year-over-year growth, a huge increase in orders, and just last month we had our best month ever for the company. So that was huge for us, and we're certainly looking to continue this upward growth. So now, oh, sorry about that. Skipped a couple slides here, so I apologize. But regarding the substrate market, it's huge for us. It's growing as a market. Now, according to the Promotional Products Association International, which is a major trade organization of ours, and I'm sure a lot of people on the line are familiar with it, the 2010 sales summary has shown that the sticker and decal market was $374 million, which for comparative purposes is up 12% compared to 2009. So it's trending upwards. And in terms of where we are and what we've seen, we're coming off our best month with 16% growth in January compared to our second best month ever. So it's really a lucrative market and one that's growing for us and the market as a whole. And quite frankly, we're also getting similar feedback from a number of our suppliers, including Mohawk, that, hey, it's growing. In terms of the nonprofit market, like all real unique verticals out there, they have their own needs and different processes that we and everybody out there as a company really need to align themselves up with. Generally speaking, our nonprofit customers have smaller budgets than our for-profit ones. And kind of going along those lines, a lot of them expect nonprofit pricing, so there needs to be a little bit of flexibility there. As Matt alluded to, they wear a lot of hats and they don't necessarily have the time and or knowledge to really focus in on their promotional efforts. So you really need to become an invaluable partner for them to kind of lead them on the correct path. And although they maybe won't suggest it, they do require a more hands-on consultative approach. And we've built that into our processes here, and our customer service team has been appropriately trained in order to really hold their hand and lead them across the way. And lastly, they also tend to be tax exempt, so you need to be able to manage that accordingly, whether you're using an enterprise-wide ERP, enterprise resource planning tool, QuickBooks, or something else.
So Eric, just to jump in, I mean, I think that the real message right there is if you're going to go after nonprofits as a vertical market, you really need to understand front to back how nonprofits are set up as a tax structure and then build that into the process of actually pursuing that market vertical. Would that be a fair assessment?
That's fair. I would even take it a step further. So if you were to do a SWOT analysis within the nonprofit world, and this is something that you definitely touched upon, what are some of their weaknesses that they have as a business, and how can you as a supplier be able to really speak to that, really be able to help hold their hand and lead them in the correct way. As we like to say around here, it's all about the value, becoming an invaluable partner and able to work with them in their environment. Sure, we could sell them a sticker or a magnet, that's great, but we like to go really above and beyond and build that relationship and partner with them and build that rapport. We've seen that word spread rather quickly within the nonprofit world. So if you do a great job, it'll spread, and as the case studies that I'm going to be talking to in the next moment allude to, we have realized a fair amount of business just based on that word of mouth. So it's something really valuable and something to be aware of when you're trying to penetrate and come up with a solution for this overall market.
That's great. That's a great message, Eric. Thanks.
Excellent. So in terms of some real mini case studies and real-world examples, right now we're looking at Lit World, which is a New York-based organization, and they're just across the river from us. We're in Jersey City, New Jersey. And what they do, they strive to cultivate literacy around the world, primarily Africa, with particular emphasis on Kenya. Now, they came to us with the challenge of looking for a cost-effective, of course, which is a recurring theme, but lightweight product they'd be able to bring overseas to leave behind for branding and memento purposes. As I had mentioned before, we have a ton of different stickers, and when we heard about the portability factor, we really focused in on not necessarily product finish on a roll, but rather either product finish on a sheet or individually cut so that it doesn't take up a lot of space. So we moved them to a sheeted product, and particularly the 2-inch round stickers. In terms of what the outcome was, they, and more importantly, quite frankly, the kids, as you can see in the photo here, absolutely love what we were able to deliver to them. And at the end of the day, they have placed repeat orders, and we've also been able to come up with a rather creative solution for a Christmas time or New Year's time fundraising solution with our magnet product. So we were able to create a lucrative partnership with them and really have both of our main business units offering products for them.
That's great. You know, just to jump in, I mean, what I love about this example, Eric, is the lasting power that those stickers have, that Lit World's message through those kids is going to get carried on to reach other kids that they may be looking to help just through that simple sticker. I mean, it's really a great product for them.
Absolutely is, and kind of for internal, when we see an image like this, and they're very active with social media, be it a blog or on Facebook, Twitter, what have you, they love sharing images like this. And for us, it's great seeing not only our product being displayed as such, but overseas and doing just such a great thing. We are a for-profit business, of course, but it is a good feeling seeing our products being put to good use for an organization like Lit World.
That's great. Thanks.
Another little case study here. The Boy Scouts of America out of Cradle Liberty Council, Pennsylvania. It's a local chapter there, of course. They really needed a high-quality outdoor product to be used for recruitment purposes. They came to us via the magnet side of the business, so we continue to work with them for a magnet solution versus a sticker solution. So given that it's outdoor, we had to come up with an outdoor product for them, and a 4x6 was exactly what fit the bill. And this is one of our more popular sizes for not only magnets, but surprisingly for stickers as well. It's an oval shape. It's a fun shape, of course, that could be used anywhere, be it indoors, outdoors. And this was a large order for us. It was well into the 4 figures. So it did require a lot of going back and forth, and as I was alluding to before, really taking a consultative approach with the customer to make sure that it's the right product for them. All the I's are dotted and the T's crossed, and that's going to be the right solution for them. And speaking of solutions, they couldn't be happier. As many of you out there are aware, you really only get feedback if something went wrong, and it's no different for us. But they were so happy with the product that they actually wrote to us saying that, hey, your customer service team went above and beyond, and they were great to work with. So, getting feedback like that is definitely an awesome thing, and we were happy to work with them. And the last little case study here, it's called the 4 Rescue. They are an Alabama-based dog and cat rescue group. And here in the office, we're huge fans of cats, animals, dogs, you name it. We even have a cat and dog running around as we speak here. And the way they heard about us, actually, was the executive director over at 4 is friends with one of our customers and was recommended to come to us. They've always purchased stickers, but they went with another supplier that was just way too expensive for them. And more than the other examples here, they were really limited by budget, so we needed to build in some flexibility into what type of product we could offer and what would work for them. So we recommended, and they moved forward with the purchase of several hundred 2-inch round stickers on a roll. It's a low-cost product, but also for us, it's a high-margin product as well, so it was a win-win. And in terms of the outcome, they absolutely love them, and they went above and beyond to really promote us on their Facebook page, their blog, and even their website. And they've approached several other Alabama-based rescue groups to give a recommendation for us. So we went above and beyond with them, but also on their end, 4's end, they really helped to promote us as a business and a value add for working with the nonprofits. So in conclusion, we have 4 main recommendations of really not working with, but partnering with nonprofits. The first is to listen, listen, listen. And I guess this could be said with any type of client. You really need to understand what their needs are, what their goals are, in order to really approach and position what your solution is accordingly. The second is to provide value from day one. For better or for worse, you know, there's a lot of competition out there. You really need to go above and beyond to wow your client and really sell yourself. The third is to meet their needs and not the other way around. We as a company really take this philosophy and recommendation to heart, that we would not be experiencing the growth we're experiencing. We would not have projections that we're projecting for this year if we really weren't flexible in meeting the needs of the customer, and if we instead did our business just because it worked for us. So along those lines, you have to be flexible and make strategic decisions that really fit with who they are and what their need is. And the last recommendation is to go above and beyond to wow. This really helps to cultivate the relationship. So one order is great, but several orders are even better. It really helps to get the word out with other nonprofits because they do speak with each other. They are close with each other. And as everybody here is aware, it costs a lot more money to find new customers and clients than to get more business from existing customers. So really put your best foot forward in working and partnering with them.
Well, that's great, Eric. You know, really a great message from a great company. At this point, I'd like to turn things over to Molly Rosenthal, again, Market Development Manager at Mohawk. And for those of you who haven't met Molly, she's possibly one of the hardest working individuals I've had the pleasure of meeting. And what I really like about Molly's approach to this market is the real-world experience she has that results in the practical advice she's about to share. Molly?
Thank you so much, Matt. Much appreciated. Kind words. And Eric, really great information. For those that don't know me, I am an ex-print salesperson, sold lots and lots in the offset, and in the last few years of my sales career, sold the majority of it digital and a lot of it on specialty substrates. So we'll talk about some selling tips and strategies that I had for that. And Eric, you hit the nail on the head. Meeting the needs of the customer and not the other way around is sort of the motto that I lived by. You know, bring some value. Don't just show up and say, what do you have today? So, you know, touche, right on point. So, you know, we've all heard what that market opportunity is and you know, how you've done it and how you've sold it, which is really, really great. The nonprofit vertical is an interesting one. They are lean. There are not a lot of people there. So now that we've seen the potential, how you sell digital specialty substrates, let's discuss some tips on how we can really get to the meat of the subject. So one of the things that I did fairly well was always upsell something. So if somebody was asking for a brochure, I would look around and see what the opportunities were for an additional sale. So I say by adding only one additional piece to a sale, you can increase your value and your company's value, and in the end, the money that's in your pocket. To be most effective, you need to provide new product and service ideas to the designer or buyer early in the creative process, sparking ideas to show them that a substrate or a specific application, 9 times out of 10, they're going to buy that product from you. You have the digital press. Now you need the print examples to promote your application variety. Make a floor label, make a window poster, make a counter card. Take that logo or their image or whatever it is that's important to them on that project and show it on lots of different substrates. When you start early in the process and you provide specific visual solutions, you'll see higher company profits, additional sales commissions, and you will increase your company retention. Eric is right. It's much easier to keep a customer and get an add-on sale than go out and find a new one. And it's better for the long-term stability of your company. Well, I like to say we have lots of make-ready tips on the make-ready site. I'd say my make-ready tips for you on this is keep your portfolio stocked full of various substrates and samples. Sorry about that. So the add-on sale, how do you increase an invoice? Let's say your customer calls and you've been awarded a brochure. Think opportunity. Think about all the other things that you can do with that project. Increase the sale with high-value, high-margin products, and it will increase your bottom line. When you're looking for the add-on sale, it's important to recognize the signs of a good cross-selling opportunity. They're everywhere. You can walk into somebody's office and see that they don't have any more business cards on their desk. They're out. Yeah, I need to get to that, or I need to do that. Or you could say, you're a volunteer. What would make your job easier? And a lot of the nonprofit opportunities, you'll see that they're very lean. You may only have 1 or 2 people in an office wearing multiple hats. So see how you can help them, and in the end, it will help yourself. And once again, become the consultative sales rep, not just the guy that's saying, what do you have today? So leverage specialty products. During my printing sales careers, one of the ways that I increased value to my customers was at the proofing stage, making many, many different choices for them. So put it on a static cling, put it on a counter card, and show them, here's what it costs. Here's how you can have it. You can have it deliver with the job. And when you show additional products at the proving stage, the nice thing is there really isn't any bid for that project. You've created the project. You've brought the idea, and you've added that value and that relationship to your customer. Another make-ready tip, when you show the proof, make sure that you show lots of different substrates. It's interesting when you show somebody a clear window cling, they're amazed. That printed on a digital press, I can only have 5 of those. They're really interested in things that they haven't seen. It's the simplest case study in the world, really, yourself, showing that your digital press can run much more than paper. It's really powerful. If you're going to sell specialty digital substrates, using them in your own promotion and marketing activities is really a low-risk way for you to build the kind of credibility that you need and the comfort that you need in selling them. How about you make yourself a pressure-sensitive business card? When you see somebody, you can slap it on their desk or put it on their computer. It's an interesting way to break yourself out of the pack. Remember, your digital press has lots of different capabilities, and your customers probably haven't seen them. And make-ready tip today is, remember, you can make just one. Sometimes it's a nice thank you follow-up to make a sticker or an embedded product as a thank you card for them to remind them that you appreciate their business. And since you have the press, you can just make one. Demonstrating clear value, specialty products can create impact. They are unique. They are profitable. They can complement all your other traditional products that you're used to selling. They can help elevate your digital print. We hear more and more, we didn't know digital printing was that good. So show your customers. They can be used in almost every marketing campaign, and they really leave a lasting impression. One of the beauties of digital printing is the ability to do short-run work. Heck, you know, just make one. Great opportunity. Get your feet wet. Jump in. Don't be afraid. People hand you a piece of polyester or a piece of PVC. Don't be afraid. You know, it works. It's beautiful. People are amazed that really, you know, it can be around for a long time. Some of the products are recycled and recyclable, and customers are loving it. So I'd say, you know, feel free to get some free samples of the portfolio online at mohawkpaperstore.com. We'd love to do it. You know, shoot us a note should you have questions or comments. We're happy to follow up and show you how beautiful these products are.
Well, I love it. And free samples is always nice. So, Molly, I'm going to have you advance the slide one more time. And I want to thank Mohawk and Eric and Molly and everyone who's on this call today. I hope you've walked away with some ideas on how to use digital specialty substrates to grow revenue and provide customers really with a lasting and impactful marketing tool. And that concludes today's webinar. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to having you on another webinar in the near future.
Thanks, Matt.